Having just been awarded a 5,000% on Rotten Tomatoes, Greta Gerwig's new film Barbie is coming in hot as it's expected to be one of the summer's biggest blockbusters. Its own trailer warns, if you love Barbie, this movie's for you, and if you hate Barbie, this movie is for you. And it seems that this is exactly why it has generated several controversies. Coming in at number 10 is the Asian Geopolitics. It doesn't look like it'll be much of a Barbie world in Vietnam or the Philippines this summer, as the South Asian countries have banned the film before its official release. Greta Gerwig's summer flick has apparently crossed a line by drawing a line, being that of the controversial 9-dash line, the U-shaped dotted line on the map showing territory in the South China Sea that both China and Vietnam claim as their own. While a 2016 international tribunal at The Hague ruled that China had no legal basis for its claims of ownership over this territory, Beijing has yet to agree with the ruling, instead attempting to dominate the waters in some very aggressive and destructive ways. Vietnam Plus, a state newspaper, wrote that the decision to include the line distorts the truth, violates the law in general, and violates sovereignty of Vietnamese territory in particular. This whole controversy is a political altercation that Barbie probably didn't even mean to make a commentary on. The reason this line is depicted in the film is due to Barbie's existential crisis that leads her to Kate McKinnon's character, who tells her she must find the real world in order to find the answers she seeks, handing her a map. The map of the real world looks as if it's been drawn in crayon by a child and includes the aforementioned dotted line, for in hindsight what seems like an accident. I feel like there was no way Greta intended to create a stir in Asian geopolitics with a movie about Barbie, but Mattel's chief operating officer Richard Dixon has gone public, saying that this film breaks Mattel's values and is not in line with the ideals of the brand to which the doll belongs. At number 9, apparently it's communist. She's a Barbie comrade in a communist Barbie world, according to Senator Ted Cruz. Republicans have become very vocal about the fact that the Barbie movie is in fact Chinese propaganda, which isn't helped by the existence of our last point, I guess. Ted Cruz was one of the first US lawmakers to weigh in, sarcastically tweeting, "I guess Barbie is made in China." Fox News commentators speculated outright whether Barbie was communist or not, and this does seem like the exact type of news that Fox News would cover, and it's debatable if anyone can actually take it seriously. More Republicans have joined them, Representative Mike Gallagher telling Fox News, "While it may just be a Barbie map in a Barbie world, the fact that a cartoonish crayon-scribbled map seems to go out of its way to depict China's unlawful territorial claims illustrates the pressure that Hollywood is under to please CCP censors." Coming in at number 8 is Barbie and Unattainable Standards. Barbie has been the blueprint for unattainable beauty standards since her debut in 1959, and for a doll line so critical in making young girls insecure, it's got people wondering why we're still promoting the doll in the first place. Traditional Barbies were always known to be predominantly thin, white, and blonde, and eventually Mattel diversified the types of Barbies available for purchase in 2016, launching Barbies from all ethnicities, body types, and abilities, but for many they believed it all came a little too late. Although Mattel's obvious fumble was not something Gerwig intended to shy away from, acknowledging the past would be essential for the movie to make any real commentary at all, adding that having Margot Robbie and her production company Lucky Chap on board to protect their writing process from being twisted by all the hands of PR managers was key in being able to tell the story they wanted. The film is said to be a mutual celebration and subversion of the Barbie world, with Margot Robbie saying that her character is literally called the stereotypical Barbie, a nuanced jab at the image that comes to mind when you think of the brand being that of a white, thin, blonde woman. All in all, from what I know of Gerwig's directorial history, she has a knack for telling stories that portray women in a realistic and honest way, and I doubt she'd glamorize the fact that Barbie was a propaganda machine to make women believe they weren't enough. In fact, this movie will probably satirize that fact. Coming in at number 7 is the movie's apparent hidden gay agenda. Tennessee pastor Kent Christmas recently addressed the Barbie movie in a sermon he gave, saying he curses in the name of the Lord this new Barbie movie, claiming that it's full of transgender and homosexuality. He blames the church for being intimidated and silent, that we're afraid to stand up, and many people on social media have parroted that same message. Now, not to mention that this is incredibly damaging and hurtful, which isn't a surprise seeing who these comments have come from, they're also incredibly baseless, since no detailed information has been released or leaked about Barbie, including whether or not it contains any depictions of LGBTQ+ people. All we know about the apparent hidden gay agenda in this film is from a comment made by Kate McKinnon, who stated that the movie is about defying gender roles and spreading the message of just being yourself. The movie does include several queer actors and has costumed most of the male characters in various shades of pink or other pastel colors, which really doesn't mean anything at all. To say this movie has hidden homosexuality might be too generous. I don't think Gerwig is subliminally introducing the audience to being gay. I doubt there's an agenda of sorts at at all, but she's probably depicting homosexuality in a kind and accepting way, you know, because it's 2023. Coming in at number 6 is Simu's casting. We've been treated to several pictures of the absolutely stacked cast of Barbie starring A-listers such as Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Dua Lipa, Issa Rae, and in an apparent controversy, Marvel star Simu. Some have celebrated Lu's inclusion in the film as a triumph for Asian representation in the film. However, his casting has also been met with a fair amount of judgment. I wasn't aware of this fact as I'd only ever seen the guy as the Google Pixel man, but apparently people do not like this guy for more reasons than just his decision to wear a blue outfit to the Barbie premiere. I mean, what was he thinking? In more serious reasons to be angry at Simu, during the fall of 2021, around the same time Marvel released Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, old Reddit posts by Lu resurfaced proving that the actor frequented men's rights activist circles and regurgitated homophobic pseudoscience conspiracy theories likening LGBTQ+ identity with the mistreatment of minors. So I think it's pretty fair to criticize the choice to cast this guy in the Barbie movie. Not sure if he should even have a platform of his Google Pixel ads with behavior like that. Coming in at number 5 is apparently the movie hates men. I wouldn't say the movie hates men, but some people see a movie that features girl power and assume that it means it must be against boys. Some online blogs have criticized how seemingly woke Barbie seems, which I mean, Gerwig hasn't disputed that it isn't, and comments about the movie trailer say that the plot is basically Barbie leaving her perfect Barbie world to a real world where the apparent only difference is just about how bad men are, which is a pretty shallow analysis. Of course men are chill in Barbie world, the only one there is Ken, and the whole film is supposed to depict how kids would play with their toys, meaning that they'd probably make their Barbie's boyfriend Ken treat her well. That's like his whole brand. Robbie's Barbie learns from Kate McKinnon's own version of Barbie that she'll need to travel to the real world to know the truth about the universe, and minutes after entering the real world, Barbie is assaulted by a man. The audience is also introduced to Will Ferrell, who plays the CEO of Mattel, who is revealed to be the villain of the film because he wants to put Barbie back in her box where she belongs. A commentary of men controlling and objectifying women who've taken steps to freedom, perhaps. People have speculated that this means Gerwig's impression of the real world is awful men, which isn't untrue at times, and it's naive to not understand that. Coming in at number 4 is backwards ideology. To reiterate point 8, people are wondering why we're still promoting the Barbie doll in the first place, for more than just her unattainable beauty standards, but also the backwards ideology she seemed to propagate for her entire existence. Although the Barbie movie is being released at a time where women have been reclaiming the word bimbo, others are joining the conservative trad wife movement, which glorifies the gender norms of the 1950s, a movement of women who believe women belong in the house, should look beautiful for their husband at all times, and have dinner on the table by 5, in many ways just blatantly romanticizing sexism. Many say that it's not a coincidence that these two ideologies are entering culture at the same time. This is all to say that people who have begun to worry about Barbie's image to continue circulating an ideal that women should be traditional, in other words, objectified and depressed, thus perpetuating the damaging consequences that we've already seen happen in society with the overturning of Roe v. Wade and efforts to restrict transgender care. However, I'm in high spirits that Gerwig has done a good job with the satirical commentary. As I've already said, I think her intentions are the opposite of a trad wife. Coming in at number 3 is the soundtrack. Oh, how Twitter users had their fair share of opinions with this movie's soundtrack. With names like Lizzo, Dua Lipa, Charli XCX, and Nicki Minaj, just a few names in this stacked arrangement, people still aren't satisfied. The first sign of disappointment came after Sam Smith was revealed to be the highly sought after mystery artist. As well, people are not happy that Aqua, the band behind the original Barbie Girl song, isn't featured on the soundtrack at all. However, I kind of get it. It seems like the band is just doing things for fun these days. In recent events, Twitter users have been a little upset about Billie Eilish's feature on the movie, user The Batty Bay saying, "I don't remember Barbie being depressed." Another user named Hannah going even further with a critique saying, "Not her trying to ruin this movie." Personally, I don't understand the hate Billie or Sam have been getting for their features on the movie. I mean, what wouldn't be elevated from a little soulful ballad? And our runner-up on this list is the amount of teasers they keep putting out. Although people seem pretty excited about all the Barbie marketing at first, some have begun to get a little irritated with having basically the entire movie on their Twitter timeline every single day. People are getting worried that there won't be any new content to be surprised by when they actually go see the movie. However, I think the Barbie movie will be more for the event of it all instead of the plot alone, but I mean, I do want there to be at least some movie I haven't seen. Twitter user Criminal Plaza writes, "Avoiding Barbie teasers like the plague, because at this rate the entire movie is going to be posted online through 2-minute clips posted in random order on Twitter." Another user, LZA Megalast, writes, "I've stopped watching the Barbie teasers because why are they showing us the whole movie? I thankfully never partook in indulging the multitude of teasers. For some reason I just made this subconscious choice not to, but I'm kinda glad I haven't been keeping up with watching the movie in 30-second increments once a week." Coming in at our number 1 spot is people think that Ryan Gosling shouldn't play Ken. The backlash is due to the simple reason that Gosling is 42 years old and some people feel he's too old for the role. Speaking with GQ, Gosling does not care for that at all, calling calling the people who are upset with him hypocrites because he feels that people who were upset with how he's portraying Ken didn't really care about Ken before, so why do they care now? Gosling said, but suddenly it's like, no, we've cared about Ken this whole time. No, you didn't. You never did. You never cared. If you ever really cared about Ken, you would know that nobody cared about Ken, so your hypocrisy is exposed. This is why his story must be told. Now, although I've been avoiding the teasers, I haven't been avoiding the interviews, and from what I've seen, Ryan seems like a great casting choice for Ken. I can't believe people would brush aside the charm and charisma of that guy just because he's somewhat older than what they believe a plastic doll should be. Ken doesn't even have an age. He's a toy. And that takes us to the end of our top 10 list of reasons why the internet is against the Barbie movie. Let us know if we forgot any in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.